No, thanks to Eli for coming on today. And it was, that's as open as you'll hear Eli at any time. I mean, that's really, he was very honest about everything. You could tell by his answers. Dan in New Jersey, what's up, Dan?
Yeah, Mike, I've been a Giant fan for over 50 years, and regardless of what happens after this season, I think every Giant fan ought to be grateful that young man has been the face of this franchise for 14 years. That is a class act through and through.
No, you're right about that. That's not even debatable.
I just hope everybody feels grateful because that kind of guy is rare.
Yeah, very rare.
Really rare.
Very rare. I mean, he doesn't throw anybody under the bus. He takes care of his teammates, and that's why the outpouring, I cannot remember. The NFL, it's very rare for any player to be loved by everybody. I mean, I don't care who the player is. The league stepped out for this guy. You had everybody. You had the other team yesterday in their reaction. You had Jack Del Rio basically say, hey, you know what? I got to tell you, he's helping us. The coach is helping us by putting Geno Smith in. That's Eli Manning. Another guy said, how could Eli Manning be running your scout team? I mean, you heard this all over the league, and then there was the threat of the Giant older players, the Giant veteran players, or the ex-players, all coming back wearing Eli jerseys next week on the sideline. So, I mean, something had to be done. We know that, and I mean, listen, you didn't have to be a weatherman to know what was going on. I mean, clearly, McAdoo was, when you heard him, you saw him yesterday, he was dead man walking. I cannot remember. The only other coach I can even put in the same area code as being as unpopular was Ray Hanley at the end. I mean, McNamara became incredibly unpopular with the Giant fans. To a person, you'd hear him. I mean, people just did not like him. More even than his performance, people just did not like his personality. They really didn't. Don in Old Bridge, what's up, Don?
Hey, Mike, how are you tonight?
What's happening?
I'm probably coming out of this season, which is horrendous. Listen to Eli every Monday night with you, with more respect for that kid than I had with 2 MVPs of the Super Bowl. I mean, the kid is phenomenal. And I always get back to you saying that's what his old man Archie always told you, that he would be the guy for this spot, and he is, man.
Yes, he always
thank goodness this coach is gone, man.
Always told me that Eli was perfect for New York, that he could handle it. And he said this week that Eli has never badmouthed the coach any day, any time, anywhere in 20 years. He said never. Never complained about a coach ever. And didn't complain about one today. Bob in the Bronx, what's up, Bob?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good.
Mike, great interview, Mike, as always. And, you asked all the right questions. And, Eli, in the situation that he was in, of course, he answered them correctly. But I don't know if that's, truly how he really felt. But my question to you is this. If Spags goes to Eli, which I think he will, do you think McCarthy now, or Spags tells McCarthy, listen, we got to change this offense up a little bit? I mean, because obviously McAdoo's offense, and everybody says McAdoo was a great offensive coordinator. He's great if he has Aaron Rodgers there. He never adjusted to Eli. He never gave Eli other plays to run or that fitted Eli. So with Spags now taking over, does he go to McCarthy and say, or do they collectively sit down now with whoever's in charge above them and say, listen, let's just try to make this fundamental and see what can happen? Because obviously the McAdoo offense, it hasn't worked.
Yeah, listen, you might be right. It's very hard to say exactly what the inside conversation is going to be. There's a couple of different ways it can go, but clearly they got to get on the same page more than anything else. Adam in Staten Island, what's up, Adam?
Hey, Mike. Real quick, I just wanted to say, if I don't get a chance to get back on in the next week or so, it's been nice speaking with you over the years.
Thank you.
And I look forward to the next chapter.
Thank you.
With the Giants, in all your years of watching sports in general, but we'll stick with football, have you ever seen such a fall from expectation from a team that was touted to go to the Super Bowl to having 2 wins, their franchise quarterback being benched, and their coach fired?
Very rare. I mean, especially where the season started from. I mean, I wasn't one of these Super Bowl people, but I did think this was a playoff team. I really did. I wasn't. I didn't think it was good enough to be a Super Bowl team. I did not think they had helped the offense enough on the offensive line. But everybody thought this was a playoff team. And I'll tell you, when we were out there in August, they were more confident than I ever remember them being. I mean, I remember mentioning it. I was stunned by how confident they were. They were almost overconfident. Steve in Smithtown, what's up, Steve?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good.
Great talk with Eli. Amazing, what's been going on with this. Question for you, a little out there, but I'll give you DeMarcus Lawrence on a contract year here and a second-round draft pick for Odell Beckham Jr. Yes or no?
No, I'm not trading back. I'm not trading them. Dave and Deal, what's up, Dave?
Hey, Mike, what's going on?
What's happening?
No, nothing. It's funny, all the Giant fans complaining here. Obviously, rightfully so. But in the grand scheme, Niners won this week. They lost. They actually moved into the number 2 spot.
Well, they didn't yet. They would actually be in third still, but they could move into the number 2. They'd actually be.
And I think they have the head-to-head loss over the Niners, so that's good.
Right. Right.
Wanted to jump in on one thing. We discussed about the college football playoffs, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
You had mentioned with the Ohio State in the committee, a week or so ago, in regards to the ratings.
Yes.
Now that Bama was drawn and picked,
yes, which I thought was the right move.
Yeah, I know, but it felt like you were on the side where you thought the committee would take Ohio State.
I thought that it was. No, I didn't know which way it was going to go. I thought it would be very debatable. I thought the one thing that could hurt Alabama was if Auburn hurt Alabama was if Auburn lost, because of the fact that would minimize their win a little bit, and that did happen. But clearly, I give them credit because Alabama was the best team, and I think they let Iowa lost definitely hurt them. And listen, they had to overcome, and Saban knows it because Saban talked about it yesterday. Saban politicked very hard for this, which he admitted he did. And he said he did it so hard because he knew how much political weight the Big Ten and Ohio State threw around, which they did. And that's what they overcame, because anyone knows internally in college, the Big Ten carries an incredible amount of power. More power than any conference. And Saban knew that. And he said that's why he politicked as hard as he did. And he admitted he politicked hard for it. But I think they took the better team. And I did think there was a good chance they could take Ohio State because of the market, because it would affect the TV ratings. TV ratings would be better if Ohio State was playing, because you light up the middle of the country, you light up Chicago. Big Ten teams do very well on television, especially Ohio State and Michigan. So that's a factor. But they went with the right team. And I think it's that they looked at it and said, Alabama's been the best team for so long, they belong here. And I think they did the right thing. Now, if they had gone the other way, would I have been shocked? Not in the least, because I know the power that the Big Ten has, though. But I think the second loss killed Ohio State, and the way they lost, 30 points, losing by 30 points to Iowa, was a very tough loss for them. Back after this.